on a beautiful spring day, finally, here at Drake Senior High School. Just underway. There's a line drive to right field for a base hit. Leadoff hitter for the Raiders, Joe Sanchez. Singles to right field. And with one aboard and nobody out early on the top of the first inning, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Dante Pistone. He's a sophomore, second baseman. The set pitch is low and outside. Leading the starting pitcher, for the Drake Middies is senior Mark Murray. Mark comes in with a record of 1-1. Drake is 3-2 on the season. This early season, Central comes in 5-1. Ball gets away. Runner is going and rounding second base, and he's going to make it all the way to third base. So a little bit of a starting early issue for the Middies that allows the runner, Joe Sanchez, to make it from first all the way over to third base on an errant throw. So now the potential go-ahead run is 90 feet away for Dante Pistone. Murray sets. Pitch up high for a ball. Don't know if they're putting balls and strikes in the scoreboard, so we'll try to keep track of it as best we can. There's a fly ball, left field, heading into foul territory, giving it a chase, and almost coming up with it, but not quite, is the Drake-it left fielder. So Pistone will take another crack at it. The set by Murray. Change-up pitch is a ball up high. Waiting for a call from the umpire on a count, not hearing it. Calling balls and strikes behind the plate today is Bob Bland, and on the bases is Sam Steed, your umpiring crew for today. There's the pitch, swing and a miss, foul tipped into the mitt. And that must put the count 2-2 now. So thought for a second, sorry about the excitement, that it was maybe a strikeout, but we have nothing. There we go. Now we have a count up there. Looks like a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Pistone. Murray sets. Change-up pitch is a fly ball to center field. With a beat on it, center field has got it. Runner tagging up. Ryan Talbot's throw comes in, but it will not be in time as the Raiders strike early and are on the board 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. So with one down and the run in, that'll bring up the number 3 hitter for the Raiders, number 12, Dom Keegan. He is a senior, today's DH. First pitch to Keegan is a ball. I'm Gary Muse, along with the DATV sports crew. Again, a beautiful day. We've been waiting for this kind of weather, and we have not had spring weather at all. It's about 63 degrees today, sunny skies. Ball gets by the catcher, but nobody aboard, so no problem there. Behind the plate for the Drake Middies is junior Brad Keefe. So Mark Murray has got a 2-1 count. Call strike, evens up the count. Murray looking in for that sign. Sets, pitches up high. And that's actually going to put the count at 3-1 as we are reliant on that scoreboard, which has been changing. Here's the 3-1 for Murray. Changeup is in there to make the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So if you just joined us, we're very early in this game, top of the first inning. 1 down, a run in for the Central Raiders. And with a 3-2 count, the number 3 hitter, Dom Keegan. Here's the pitch, fouled off, just saved that one. As I mentioned, the Central Raiders, they're state ranked this year. They come in at 5-1 so far in the early season. Drakett's 3-2. And we are coming to you from the Ryan Sayer Memorial Baseball Field here at Drakeett Senior High School. The 3-2 count. There's a fly ball hit well to left center field. Both outfielders going to give it a chase. Left fielder can't come down with it. And rounding or holding up at second base with a double is Dom Keegan. So far the Raiders are hitting Mark Murray pretty hard that time, as giving chase, and finally Ryan Talbot was able to get that ball in to hold the runner at second base. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, number 23, Steve Hager, senior. He's the first baseman. A little bit of a changeup pitch is up high for ball one. The set, pitch is down low. 2 balls, no strikes now, the count to Hager. Check over at second base. Kyle Hould holding the runner. It's a soft toss. Keegan takes his lead at second. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Murray gets his sign, he sets. The 2-0. Across the knees for a call strike. 2 balls and a strike now. Little cat and mouse at second base, but runner's not going far. Not a huge lead. That ball misses, and the count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Steve Hager. Joe Donnelly, the second baseman for Drakeett. And that ball misses. Look close, but that is a walk now given up by Mark Murray to put runners at first and second with 1 out. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, senior Mike Piero, the right fielder. Little conference at the mound. The head coach for the Drakeett Middies is Steve Talbot. Steve assisted by Tim Dano, also Tim Bolio and Joe Ganji on the coaching staff with Talbot. They had their piece. Talbot and catcher Brad Keefe chatting things up with Murray, trying to settle him down a little bit. So with 1 down and a run in for the Raiders here in the top of the first, they threaten with runners at first and second. And Mike Piero, the batter, and that one's in the dirt. Good job, though, by the Middies catcher Brad Keefe to keep that in front of him. Murray sets. The 1-0. Cross the knees for a strike. So that evens at the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Not very windy today, which is nice. Wind is about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Seems to be going from right to left when it kicks up, but it's not constant. There's a ground ball to the right side. It's going to get through for a base hit. This should score a run. No, it won't. They're going to hold him up. Thought he was going to take the big turn. So right fielder Kyle Cox for the Middies, sophomore, got the ball in quickly, and they held the runner at third. So the bases now will be loaded with 1 out. And now coming to the plate for the Raiders is number 11, Mike Borelli. He's a senior catcher for today. Bases are full of Raiders. First pitch is up high for a ball. So with 1 run already in here in the top of the first, the Raiders with a big threat. Mark Murray probably hoping that something's hard hit right to one of his infielders. There's a pop-up. It looks like it's heading foul, and it will be out of play. So that'll even up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Borelli ready with the 1-1 count. Murray gets his sign. And the pitch. Changeup misses for ball 2.
Drive the baseball for Dominic. Drive the ball, Mike.
Bases full of Central Catholic runners. There's a fly ball to right field. Right fielder is under it. This should get a run in. He's got it. We'll send it back in, and the runners tag from both second and third. And in to score the second run for the Raiders, Dom Keegan. And advancing over to third base, Steve Hajar. Making the play for Drake is Devin Lambert. So now 2 down with runners at the corners. 2 runs in.
Sean, let's go.
That'll bring up Sean Thompson. Check over at first base. Runner dives back in time. Holding on at first base. First baseman Austin Chauncey for the Middies. Holding Mike Piero. Steve Hajar, the runner at third base. And the batter, Sean Thompson, the left fielder. He's a senior. Foul ball at the plate. Head coach for the Central Catholic Raiders is Mark Pelletier, assisted by John Sexton, Aaron LaCharity. The 0-1 from Murray. Fly ball, not hit very deep. Center fielder coming in, Talbot should have it, and that'll do it. So, could have been a lot worse as the bases were loaded, and the Central Raiders do come up with 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. Drake coming to bat. Drake Middies will try to get on the board here in the bottom of the first inning as they're down 2-0. Middies will face the starting pitcher for the Central Raiders, senior Nate Carpenter. Batting first for Drake will be number 11, captain senior Joe Donnelly. Joe Donnelly, Ryan Talbot, and Kyle Houle are all scheduled here in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch is in and low from Nate Carpenter for ball 1. Joe Donnelly has 7 hits on the early season. He's 7 for 16. He and Kyle Houle lead the team in hits. Donnelly also, he and Cox with 7 RBIs, leading the team. There's a call strike, evens the count at 1-1. So Donnelly's had a good start this year. Kyle Cox, again, the other one with 7 RBIs. Nate Carpenter sets. Here's the 1-1. In there across the knees for a call strike. So Carpenter now up in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes against Joe Donnelly, the leadoff midi hitter. Drake trailing 2-0 as Central got 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. There's a line drive to left field, base hit. Joe Donnelly continues his great hitting early in the season. Takes the turn at first base, and the Middies right away get something going with their leadoff hitter aboard. With Donnelly at first base, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Captain Ryan Talbot. He's a senior, center fielder today. Nate Carpenter gets a sign. Showing bunt that time was Talbot, but he hops it foul behind the backstop. Ryan is the son of Coach Steve Talbot. And of course, because Ryan's a senior, that's kind of a sentimental aspect for the coach for this season. Carpenter sets. Pitch. Foul ball. So 2 strikes, the count to Ryan Talbot. Donnelly's got his lead. Little pop-up heading foul, and it will be out of play, just hitting the top of the fence, which is the front part of the Middies dugout. So almost a chance for the central catcher. Catching behind the plate for the Raiders is Mike Borelli. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Drakett's Ryan Talbot with Joe Donnelly at first base. Nobody out. Middies down 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. The 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and a quick throw down to first, but Donnelly slides back in safely. So Carpenter gets Ryan Talbot swinging. And with 1 down, that'll bring up the number 3 hitter for the Middies, senior captain Kyle Hould. Kyle, the shortstop. Middies have basically 4 captains this year: Joe Donnelly, Ryan Talbot, Kyle Hould, and Adam Berger. And the Raiders, all of their seniors are captains. We'll list them in a moment. Runner goes from first base. Donnelly got a good jump, slides in easily with the steal at second base. So that puts Joe Donnelly in scoring position as the Middies at least attempt to cut the lead in half. That was a strike to Kyle Hould. So now the Middies have the runner in scoring position. 0-1 count to Hould. Carpenter looks at the runner and the pitch. There's a ground ball, a line drive. Right to the first baseman, nothing you can do about that. It was hit fairly hard right to the central first baseman, Steve Hasher. So that's a line out to 3, and now 2 down with the runner remaining at second base. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, batting 4th, number 10, Chris Nugent. There's a quick replay on that. Again, it was a pretty hard hit line drive right to the first baseman, and Donnelly really hadn't really gone that far, so no problem for him getting back. Trying to check his swing that time was Nugent, but it's a call strike. So we've got 2 down, bottom of the first inning. Drake trails 2-0. Joe Donnelly, the runner, at second. Chris Nugent, the batter. Runner goes. Here's the throw down to third, and the ball is dropped and in with another stolen base is Joe Donnelly. So Donnelly stole second base earlier and has now stolen third. Gets that runner just a little bit closer. Now it's up to Nugent to try to drive him in. So the seniors for Central Catholic: Joe Sanchez, Dom Keegan, Steve Hasher, Mike Piero, Mike Borelli, Sean Thompson, and Noah Lucier, at least from the starting lineup. Here's the pitch. There's a softly hit fly ball to right field, and there, on it to make the play, is Mike Piero for the final out. So the Drake Middies threaten in the bottom of the first inning, but come up empty. And after 1 complete inning of play, it's Central Catholic 2 and Drake at 0. So we get ready for action the top half of the second inning. Due up for the Central Raiders, the number 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Noah Lucier, Mike Lefebvre, and Joe Sanchez. Drake, as we mentioned, came into this game 3 wins, 2 losses. Their 3 wins were against Cristo Rey. It was a 14-0 win. They also beat Wayland 13-5, and they beat Westford 2-1. They lost to Haverhill and also to Chelmsford. And the first pitch is in for ball one. It's the number 8 hitter, number 7, Noah Lucier, senior. He's the shortstop. Incidentally, Mark Murray for the Middies comes in with 1 win and 1 loss. He comes in with a 3.5 ERA and has struck out 9 so far this season. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. A little bit low for a ball, so that'll put the count 3 balls and no strikes to Noah Lucier. Central Raiders wasted no time, jumping on top 2-0 in the top half of the first inning. That's right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Here's the set, the 3-1 from Murray, and that's going to be up high. That floated up on him, and that'll be a walk given up to Noah Lucier to start things off here in the top of the second inning. Second walk of the day given up so far by Mark Murray. And with a runner aboard, that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Mike Lefebvre. Or actually, I think it's pronounced Lefebvre. And he's a junior, today's third baseman. First pitch is in for a call strike as Austin Chauncey is holding the runner at first. Murray takes a peek over at first, and there's a quick throw. Diving back in safely is Lucier. Mark Murray sets the pitch to Lefebvre. In the dirt, but no damage. Brad Keefe keeps that ball right in front of him. That evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Murray sets, runner goes. There's a ground ball right to second base. There is Houle over to first base, and he turns the double play unassisted. So Kyle Houle was in perfect position. He was going over to cover the attempted steal. Ball hit right to him. I think he was standing on second when he took the ground ball and then fires over to first base for the double play. So nice defensive play by Kyle Houle. So you score that 6-3 unassisted. And with 2 down, that'll bring up the top of the lineup. There's the runner going on that play. As we take a look at that replay, the ground ball right to Houle, back over to first base. So nice play. So the top of the lineup comes around. Joe Sanchez, fly ball, out. Making the play is the second baseman for the Drake and Middies. And taking that in no problem is Joe Donnelly. So a very easy inning that time for Mark Murray after a little bit of trouble. And was going to say that Joe Sanchez, who just popped out, he went right after that first pitch, had singled and scored back in the first inning. So that time he's held at bay. And the Central Raiders are retired with no damage here in the top of the second inning. So after 1.5, the score remains Central 2 and Drake at 0. Drake and Middies here in the bottom of the second inning will send up Devin Lambert, Austin Chauncey, and Brad Keefe. I'm Gary Muse with the Drake at Access Television Sports crew, as we are really happy to bring you our first Drake at High Varsity baseball game of the 2018 season. So number 5, junior Devin Lambert stands in there, takes the first pitch for a ball. Devin, the left fielder. Nate Carpenter, the starting pitcher for the Central Catholic Raiders. Central Catholic, of course, is out of Lawrence. But, you know, a lot of kids from Drake and some surrounding communities go there, so not sure which players may be from Drake on this team. That last pitch was a call strike to even the count 1-1. As I mentioned earlier, it's a kind of a nice spring day, one of the nicer days we've had this spring, if you want to call it spring. Game time temperature was about 63 degrees. The winds picked up a little bit from time to time, but it's sunny. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count right now. Checking his swing, but a call, third strike is Devin Lambert. So, Central's Nate Carpenter quickly retires the first batter. And with one down, that'll bring up number 27, Austin Chauncey. Austin's a senior, starting first baseman. Pitch to Chauncey is down, low and away for a ball. Central Catholic off to a quick 2-0 lead, scoring 2 in the top of the first. Here's a set from Carpenter. Call strike to Chauncey. Pitch paints the inside part of the strike zone. Carpenter looks and gets a sign. Here's the 1-1. Up high for a ball. Again, calling balls and strikes today. Behind the plate, Bob Bland, and on the bases is Sam Steed, our umpiring crew for this Merrimack Valley Conference baseball game. The Central Raiders come out of the Merrimack Valley Division I League, and Drake gets out of Division II. That's across the knees for a called strike. That'll even the count up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carpenter looks in, waiting for that sign. He's got it. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 men up and 2 men down on strikeouts here in the bottom of the second inning for Drake. That'll bring up the number 7 hitter, Brad Keefe. He's a junior, today's starting catcher for the Drake Middies. First pitch taken just a bit high for a ball. That's in the dirt. That'll put the count 2 balls and no strikes. Central's starting catcher Nate Carpenter came in to this game with a record of 1-1 in the early season. The Raiders are 5-1 as a team on the season so far. Again, predicted to be a pretty good power in the state this year, so formidable opponent for Drake today. That was a called strike, putting the count 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. Foul ball to the left side. And that evens the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brad Keefe. On deck for the Middies, Adam Berger would be next. Carpenter sets. The 2-2. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and Nate Carpenter strikes out the side as the Drake Middies go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the second. So we've played 2 complete, and after 2, your score is Central Catholic 2 and Drake High School nothing. The number 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Central Catholic Raiders here in the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be Dante Pistone, Dom Keegan, and Steve Hager coming up for the Raiders. Dante Pistone, the sophomore, comes to the plate. He flied out his first time up, flied out to center. That first pitch is low for a ball. Central Catholic with a 2-0 lead. They got their 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. Call strike. That'll even the count 1 ball, 1 strike now. That pitch is a bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike to the Central Catholic second baseman. Mark Murray sets. Pitch misses inside for a ball. So 3 balls, 1 strike your count. Again, Murray comes into this game with 1 win, 1 loss, 3.5 ERA, and had struck out 9. There's a ground ball base hit just outside of the reach of Kyle Houle to left field. And once again, the Red Raiders have a leadoff hitter aboard.
Yeah, like he was on my team last year.
So with Pistone on first base, that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Dom Keegan, the DH. Keegan doubled and scored a run back in the first inning as the Raiders try to get something going here in the top of the third. First pitch is a call strike. Boston Chauncey holds the runner aboard at first. Murray looks in, gets the sign. Pitch just misses for a ball. Evens the count up at a ball and a strike. Change-up pitch misses a bit outside, so that'll put the count 2 balls, 1 strike to Dom Keegan. Throw over to first base, almost gets away. That throw draws Chauncey to the home plate side of first base, but he's stuck with it. Down 2-0, you don't want to give anything away at this point. Another throw over, that time the throw is a bit on the mark, a bit more on the mark. No problem though, back in safely is Pistone. Murray takes another peek at the runner, sets the 2-1. That's down low for a ball, 3 balls and a strike now. The 3-1. Big cut and a well hit ball, but well foul to the left side. Bounces on top of the batting cage that's out off of left field, out of play. So that puts the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dom Keegan. Top of the third, runner aboard at first, nobody out. And that changeup stays just a bit high for ball 4. Murray did not like that. I thought he had the top of the strike zone. So that puts runners now at first and second with nobody out. And with 2 aboard, that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Steve Hazard, the senior. Hazard walked his first time up and got as far as third base, and he gets hit by the pitch. So the bottom dropping out just a little bit here as Mark Murray seems a little bit unsettled, and Steve Talbot's going to go out to take a walk out and have a chat. So big threat going on right now for the Central Catholic Raiders, as with nobody out here in the top of the third inning, they have the bases loaded. Drake had head coach Steve Talbot out to chat with his pitcher Mark Murray, along with Brad Keefe, the catcher. Waiting to come up again is Mike Piero. As you just saw a quick look at that last play. Mike Piero singled back in the first inning. So he's 1 for 1 in the day. So big threat being put on by Central Catholic right now as they're up 2-0 here in the top of the third inning. Drake needs some defensive plays. Pitch is outside for ball 1. Foul ball. That'll even the count up at a ball and a strike. Mark Murray could certainly use a strikeout. Peek there at our catcher for the Middies, Brad Keefe. Giving the sign to Mark Murray. See if the Middies can keep this ball in the infield. Little curveball doesn't quite come back in, and it stays inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike now. Certainly nowhere to put the runners. Mike Piero with a chance to do some damage here with the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the third. That's in the dirt. It's going to get past the catcher, and that's going to allow a run to come in. So wild pitch by Mark Murray allows Dante Pistone to come in and score the third run of the day for the Central Catholic Raiders. The other runners advance to second and third. That pitch misses up high for a ball, and I think that's going to do it for Mark Murray, as doesn't seem to quite have his stuff today. Talbot's going to head back out, and he's going to take the ball, and that's going to close the book. Well, it's not going to close the book, but it's going to bring a relief pitcher in for the Drake and Middies. Coming in relief is going to be junior Jared Fahey. So Fahey will get some warm-ups in. So tough day for Mark Murray, and he is responsible for the runners that are still aboard. 3 runs are in, and there is still nobody out here in the top of the third inning. So we'll see if Jared Fahey can, along with his defense, can hold the damage to where it is right now. Again, we'll take a look at this replay. You can see it bounced short of home plate, so it did get bounced in front of the catcher. And I'm not the official scorer, but I call that a wild pitch. So defensively for the Drake and Middies, the pitcher now is Jared Fahey, Brad Keefe behind the plate, Austin Chauncey, the first baseman, Joe Donnelly at second, Adam Berger, the third baseman, Carl Hould, the shortstop, Devin Lambert, Ryan Talbot, and Kyle Cox from left to right. So Fahey finishes his warm-up tosses as he's in relief here in the top of the third inning, trying to stop the bleeding, as 3 runs are in for Central Catholic, but they are threatening with runners at first and, bases loaded. Bases are full of Central Catholic runners. There's a call strike. The batter is Mike Borelli. Borelli flied out to right his first time up. Jared Fahey in relief here in the top of the third. Is the 0-1, trying to check his swing, and it is a call strike. So quickly, Fahey is up 0-2 against Borelli. Could really use a strikeout right now. Fahey sets the 0-2, up high for a ball 1. Bases full of Raiders. That pitch is in the dirt. Again, nice job. Brad Keefe has really kept most everything in front of him. There was just that recent wild pitch that was sort of the undoing of Mark Murray that was able to get by him. Fahey sets. Here comes the 2-2. There's a fly ball, not hit very well in right field, and that is foul. There was no way that Drake at right fielder Kyle Cox was going to catch up to that, and fortunately for the Middies, it did drift foul. So that'll keep the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Borelli. Again, for the Central Catholic Raiders, their head coach is Mark Pelletier. Assistants are John Sexton and Aaron LaCharity. Jared Fahey gets his sign. He sets the 2-2. Just got a piece of that one. Mike Borelli stays alive.
Come on, Mike, let's go. Let's do this together here. Come on, kid.
That pitch is up high, and that's going to put the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes with nowhere to put the runners. So you can bet that Mike Borelli is going to be looking for something decent to hit. The 3-2. Popped up and heading out of play. Foul ball.
Catch it. Jake, you gotta hustle.
So Mike Borelli's done a good job of staying alive. He's fouled off a couple of tough pitches. And he's hanging in there as he looks to help his team do more damage. We're in the top of the third inning. 3-0 Central Catholic with nobody out. Jared Fahey in relief. There's a fly ball to right center field. Right fielder is back there and it gets over his head. That's going to score at least 2 runs. Looks like it may score 3 runs. And it does. 3 runners come in. So Mike Borelli ends up at first base. There's 2 runs on that. I'm sorry, 2 runs. So my apologies to the truck. Unless the scoreboard's wrong, I'm going to go with the scoreboard because we do have 2 runners aboard. So 5-0 now. The score to Central. So it's 2 runs in. My error there. And that's going to bring up Sean Thompson. So Mike Piero is still one of the base runners down at third base. Still nobody out. 3 runs in here in the top of the third inning. There's a call strike to Sean Thompson. Thompson fly to center field his first time up. And Mark Murray responsible for those 2 runs that have in so far. He's also still responsible. There's a foul ball. Murray's also responsible for the runner Piero, who's down at third base. That's a ball. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sean Thompson. Two is inside for ball 3. That'll put the count full 3-2. Set by Fahey. The pitch. Foul ball. Mike Piero, the runner at third. Mike Borelli, the runner first, and there's a call, strike 3. So a critical strikeout called, caught looking Sean Thompson as the middies need to stop the damage here. So with 1 down and runners at first and third, that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Noah Lucier, the senior. Lucier walked his first time up back in the second. First pitch taken for a strike. If you're just joining us, we're in the top of the third inning. Central Catholic up 5-0. Scored 2 in the first and 3 so far here in the top of the third. There's another call strike. So Fahey getting in a groove. He's up 0-2 against Noah Lucier. Takes a peek at first. The 0-2. Change-up offered. They check off with the base umpire, but in all fairness, base umpire Sam Steed is behind the pitcher. It's not the best angle for that kind of a call. You want to be down the first base line, ideally, for that call. So 1-2 the count. Runner goes from first. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and they do throw down, but of course, the big concern is that that runner from third doesn't go anywhere. So advancing to second base on the steal was Mike Borelli. That puts runners at second and third. But another strikeout for Jared Fahey, and that brings up the number 9 hitter, Mike Lefebvre. First pitch is a call strike. Lefebvre grounded into that unassisted double play that Kyle Houle turned back in the second inning. And the Middies looking to get out of any further damage here. That pitch misses a bit high for a ball. 1-1 the count. So runners at second and third. There are 2 outs now. 3 runs are in this inning with Central up 5-0. Call strike. Didn't like that. Plate umpire Bob Land is having to say a little something to the hitter, who I think is complaining on that last call. Over now is head coach of the Central Catholic Raiders, Mark Pelletier, excuse me, making sure that his player does not get in any trouble. That's one thing umpires will not tolerate at any level, is questioning balls and strikes. So the count, there's a foul ball carved out to the left side. Pitch is called a ball, so 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. That misses outside for a ball. So that puts the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes for Mike Lefebvre as Jared Fahey looks to get out of this inning and contain the damage. Pitch, ground ball, heading toward the middle, and it's going to get through for a base hit. That's going to score at least 1 run, looks like 2 runs, and the damage continues here in the top of the 3rd inning. So Piero and Borelli both score, and that finally closes the books on Mark Murray. So now the Central Catholic Raiders up 7-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Top of the lineup is around Joe Sanchez. Single, scored a run, and also popped out to second base. That gets through for a base hit. Gets it just past second baseman, Drake at second baseman, Joe Donnelly. You can see just outside of the dive, and that'll bring up Dante Pistone. Call ball. Pistone fly to center field in the first. Singleton scored earlier in this inning. And excuse me, he did not score in this inning. Actually, sorry, as I double back again, yes, he did. Having trouble reading my own writing here. As a fly ball hits softly to right field, this could be trouble. Second baseman is over there and takes it in, as mercifully this top of the 3rd inning is over, but not before the Central Red Raiders score 5 runs to take a 7-0 lead, as Drake will come up to try to start something in the bottom of the 3rd. So we get set for action in the bottom of the 3rd inning as Drake with a big hole to dig themselves out of, down 7-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Due up for the Middies, the number 7, 8, 9 hitters, Adam Berger, Kyle Cox, and Mark Murray. Actually, I'm sorry, Murray being hit for by the DH. That pitch just misses for a ball. It's actually the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Adam Berger is one of the captains, senior, 3rd baseman. as a line drive and taken in from the center field. It wasn't hit very deep. Center field was playing fairly shallow, so it was a pretty simple play for him that time. So that'll be a line out to center field for Adam Berger. And with one down, that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Kyle Cox. Kyle's a sophomore right fielder. Incidentally, the final book on Mark Murray, 2 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, walked 5, didn't strike out anybody, and hit 1 batter. There's a call strike. So tough start for Mark Murray today. On the mound for the Raiders, Nate Carpenter. There's a ground ball, not hit that hard. Third baseman's up with it. Double pumps, fires across for the out. Good play by Mike Lefebvre. And quickly, the Middies have 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up the top of the lineup, Joe Donnelly. Donnelly actually started things off well for the Middies back in the 1st inning. Singled, stole 2 bases, got it as far as 3rd base, but that was it. The Middies have not scored any runs. Foul to the left side.
Come on, Joe.
Carpenter sets the 0-1. Popped up. Should be playable in the infield. Shortstop's got the beat, and making the easy play is the shortstop, Noah Lucier. And the Middies go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And after 3, the Central Raiders with a commanding 7-0 lead. Getting set for action in the top of inning number 4. Due up for the Central Catholic Raiders, the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Dante Pistone, Dom Keegan, and Steve Hasher. Pistone, 1 for 2 on the day, flied out to center field, singled and scored in the 3rd inning.
Hey, good spot.
Let's check that. When you work alone, you're bound to make mistakes. So let's credit Dom Keegan for being the batter. And it's a ground ball. It's off the 3rd baseman's chest. He's got to hurry. Got him. Nice play. So my apology for that. That's actually Dom Keegan who was leading things off for the Red Raiders, the DH. And a nice recovery by the Drake at 3rd baseman, Adam Berger, who bobbled it a little bit but kept it in front of him and then made the strong throw, and a nice job also by the 3rd baseman, Austin Chauncey, to scoop that up. So there it is. Again, he bobbled it, kept it in front of him, but it was hit hard enough that he had time to recover. And then that throw across, and a nice job by Chauncey to stay in contact with the bag. So with 1 down, that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Steve Hasher. Hasher walked in the 1st inning, got as far as 3rd base, and was hit by a pitch and eventually came around to score. That was in the 3rd inning. Fly ball to right field, heading foul and out of play. So my apologies to Dom Keegan for initially calling him Dante Pistone. He's probably thinking, I can't believe he called me Dante. So we've got 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning with Drake in a pretty big hole, 7-0. The runs for Central came 2 in the 1st inning and then 5 in the 3rd inning. Line drive to the left side, foul. So the count 1-2, Steve Hasher. And also, what I neglected to give you, first there's a fly ball to right field It is heading foul, and I'll be out of play. We did have a pitching change. My apologies. On the mound for the Drake Minis now is Austin Chauncey. So who should have gotten credit for a good play at first base was Ryan Talbot.
Keep it alive, Stevens. Keep it alive.
Is that Ryan Talbot? Sorry, I can't see. Could be Chris Nugent. I'm all over the place right now. Hard to keep track of all the changes when you're working on as a foul ball the left side. Yeah. First baseman is number 10, Chris Nugent for the Middies. So let's credit Chris with the nice play on the previous out, holding the bag. And that's fouled back. Out of play. So Steve Hasher hanging tough as we have one down here in the top of the fourth inning. Drake, it really needs to hold Central to some scoreless innings and start producing some of their own runs. So Chauncey looks in. Pitch. Line drive. Base hit into left field, down the left field line. Left fielder quickly over for Drake at Devin Lambert. Gets that ball in to hold Hasher to a single. So good bit of hitting that time by Steve Hasher. Hung tough, fouled some balls off. And with one down and a runner aboard at first base, that'll bring up number 9, Mike Piero, the senior right fielder. Piero singled back in the first inning, walked and scored in the third inning. Quick throw over to first, but a little bit wide to the home plate side, causing Chris Nugent to stay with it. Pitch a ball.
Work it, 9, work it. Right up the middle. Right up the middle here, kid. Come, big.
Ground ball. Hit up the middle and through for a base hit. Runner rounding second will hold. Wasn't hit terribly hard, but well placed. So that's a single for Mike Piero, which advances Steve Hasher to second. So after one out, we've got back-to-back singles by the Central Raiders. With one down at runners at first and second, that'll bring up Mike Borelli. Borelli fly to right field in the first, singled, came around to score back in the third inning, also stole a base. Takes the first pitch for a strike. In the dirt, but again, nice job by Drake catcher Brad Keefe. He's had to handle several balls in the dirt today, and he's kept most of them right in front of him. Chauncey checks the runners. Pitch, ground ball, hit right to the third baseman. It's off his glove. He doesn't have any time to go anywhere. Probably his best play was to third, but he would have needed to get up and probably just go over and tag the bag himself. And so a good job, nevertheless, because if Adam Berger doesn't make that play, then you could be looking at a run score, because that would have gone up the left field line. First pitch is in for a ball. Scheduled up with Sean Thompson. Thompson fly to center in the first, struck out caught looking in the third. Two balls, no strikes, the count to Thompson. Chopped foul to the left side. Steve Hasher, the runner at third base, Mike Piero at second, and Mike Borelli at first base. So with one out, bases once again loaded for the Central Raiders. They've had them loaded a few times today. There's a fly ball to right field. Right fielder will make the play. Runners will tag. This will score a 1 run, and the runner tags from second to third base. So in to score the 8th run is Steve Hager on the sacrifice fly. And advancing on the play was Mike Piero. Mike Borelli held at first base. So RBI for Sean Thompson. Makes the score 8-0 Central, and that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Noah Lucier. Lucier walked in the second, struck out caught looking in the third. It's a ball. Runners at the corners for Central Catholic. 2 down, 8-0 Central. It's called strike. That'll even the count up at a ball and a strike. It's just a bit high for a ball. So that'll put the count 2-1. There's a line drive to right field. Nice job by the right fielder. Nope, got off his glove. Thought he had that, my bad. He got there, he had it, and it ticked off his glove. So as a result, that brings in another Raider run. Mike Piero into score on that play. I'm not sure how they're going to score that one. I thought he had it, and of course I looked away. So he got there, and there it is. It's on his glove, so I don't know. That's I thought he got there, so I'm going to score in an E9 on the play. So now the score 9-0 Central with Mike Lefebvre, the batter. Lefebvre is 1 for 2. Grounded out into a double play in the second and singled in the third. Ground ball, second baseman's got it. This should end the inning, and it does. So a little bit more damage done by Central as they score 2 here in the top of the 4th inning, and after well, in the middle of the 4th inning, your score is the Central Catholic Raiders 9, the Drake Middies coming to bat. We head now into the bottom of the 4th inning with Drake looking to make something happen as they trail 9-0 against the Central Catholic Raiders. Due up for the Middies, the number 1, 2, 3 hitters, Joe Donnelly, Ryan Talbot, and Kyle Hould. Make that Ryan Talbot. Again, I was just saying off camera, it's like, it's not always easy to keep track of everything. There's changes and doing the scorebook or whatnot, so it's actually the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Ryan Talbot, Kyle Hould, Chris Nugent. Talbot struck out swinging back in the 1st inning as Drake in the hole 9-0, the bottom of the 4th. Call strike across the knees.
Make good plays for each other. Here we go. Make good play.
Call strike.
Good boy. Way to come back. Way to climb back.
There's a chopper hit to the left side. It's playable and it's off the glove. It's going to be a fair ball. So reaching first base on the error is Ryan Talbot. So we'll score that in E5. Wasn't hit that hard,
Yes, you did.
but it gets the Middies, their leadoff
And off you got sick.
hitter, aboard.
I know, the poor kid.
That'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Kyle Hould. Hould, today's shortstop, lined out to the first baseman his first time up. On deck for the Middies is Chris Nugent. Ground ball, not hit hard to the shortstop. He's going to go to second for one, and the throw will go wide, and that's going to allow the runner to advance. So the fielder's choice that time by the shortstop, Noah Lucier.
No, he got out at second.
And as you can see, that throw was a little bit wide. And with one down and a runner in scoring position at second base, that brings up Chris Nugent. Little chopper to the left side. It's a fair ball. His only play is to first base, and nice job digging that out was the first baseman, Steve Hasher. That advances, well, it doesn't advance the runner. Runner held at second base that time. So Nugent grounds out 5-3.
Yeah, it does look like Thomas too. It is Thomas too. No. It is funny. Well, my sister sent him the first time he was on American Idol. And I'm like, oh, I don't think.
That'll bring up Devin Lambert for the Middies. Lambert caught looking at strike 3 his first time up. Checks his swing that time. Two down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Drake it down 9-0 against Central Catholic. Swing and a miss. Ball gets past the catcher, and that'll allow the runner to advance to third base. So Kyle Hould, the runner over at third base now for the Middies. On deck for Drake at Austin Chauncey would be next. Nate Carpenter with a very comfortable lead right now for Central Catholic. He sets the 1-1. Down low for a ball. So that'll put the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Devin Lambert ready with the 2-1 count on him. Low and away, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Devin Lambert, with Kyle Hould 90 feet away at third base. Middies down 9-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch. And that's going to be ball 4. So drawing the walk is Devin Lambert. And with runners at the corners and 2 out, that'll bring up Austin Chauncey, who is currently the pitcher. Chauncey started off the game as the first baseman and then came in relief of Jared Fahey. Mark Murray started for the Middies, was relieved by Jared Fahey and then Austin Chauncey. By the way, the book on Jared Fahey had 1 inning pitched, gave up a hit, struck out 2. Austin Chauncey struck out swinging in his only at-bat so far in this game. Call strike.
We have MCAS tomorrow.
Midi runners at the corners. Noah Carpenter gets set for the 0-1. And it gets by everybody. This is going to allow the Middies to score their first run of the game in. To score on the wild pitch is Kyle Hool. And advancing to second base for Drake is Devin Lambert. So the Middies are finally on the board here in the bottom of the fourth inning, as that ball bouncing well ahead of the plate, getting by the Central Catholic catcher Mike Borelli. So 9-1 is your score. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Oh my God, I have all A's and B's. I have a B in math and I have the rest of the We're not going to talk about that. Let's go, Toss. I did. Then I just did a bunch of extra credits. Because Mama was like, is there any fun taken away?
Here's the 1-2. There's a call, strike 3. That was right across the knees. Really did freeze Austin Chauncey. Looked really good from here. So the Middies do finally get on the board. And after 4 complete innings of play, your score is Central Catholic 9 and Drake 1. We head to the top of inning number 5. Central Catholic Raiders with a commanding 9-1 lead. New pitcher for the Drake Middies, their 4th pitcher of the day, Devin Lambert, moves from left field to the pitcher's mound. And out in left field, Patty O'Toole for the Middies. Leading off for the Central Catholic Raiders is their leadoff hitter, Joe Sanchez. Sanchez singled and scored in the first and flew out twice. Second pop up, third baseman's got a shot, and it just goes out of play. Thought he may have a shot at that, but that wind that we have, that little bit of wind is moving right to left, and a number of balls have drifted to the left. So Sanchez will come back and try it again with a 1-1 count, set by Devin Lambert. Up high for a ball. Here's the 2-1. That misses for a ball. So 3 balls, 1 strike the count. Foul to the right side. That'll put the count full 3-2. Devin Lambert gets his sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Oh, that's up high. That floated away from him, and that's going to be a walk given up to Joe Sanchez. So the Central Catholic Raiders get their leadoff hitter aboard here in the top of the 5th inning. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Dante Pistone. Dante fly to center field, singled and scored a run in the 3rd. 1 for 2 on the day. Lambert with a throw, almost got away. Also, another defensive change. Brad Keefe is now the first baseman. So he's holding the runner aboard. And Keefe, nice job behind the plate today catching. Had to keep several pitches in front of him that had bounced ahead of the plate. Lambert checks the runner. Pitch is low. We do have a new pitcher in for the Middies, so we'll get that to you. A new catcher, excuse me. Two balls, no strikes the count. In there for a call strike. Yeah, so it's tough sometimes to see a new catcher because the number is obscured by the straps for all the equipment they wear. So we'll get that changed to you. Here comes the 2-1. Ground ball hit softly to the third baseman. He bobbles it, he's up with it, recovers, and makes the play. Nice job by Adam Berger to keep that ball in front of him and make the play. So advancing over to second base on the play was Joe Sanchez. And with one down and a runner at second base, that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Dom Keegan. Keegan is 1 for 2 on the day. He doubled and scored in the first inning, walked and scored in the third, and grounded out to the third baseman. 5-4.
Go, Tommy. Come on, babe.
Ground ball. It's not a ground ball, but a ball in the dirt. Took a big high hop. And it does allow the runner to advance. So a wild pitch by Devin Lambert. And that allows Joe Sanchez to advance to third base. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Keegan.
Go, Dom.
That ball evens the count 2-2. On deck for the Raiders is Steve Hager. Here's a set by Lambert. The 2-2. Called a strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. He wasn't happy about that. So 2 down now here in the top of inning number 5. And that'll bring up Steve Hager. The first baseman. Hager walked in the first inning, got hit by a pitch, and eventually scored in the third, singled and scored in the fourth. Here's another look at that pitch. There's a fly ball hit to the left fielder as we were in a replay. Sorry about that. And the Drake and Middies have shut down the Central Catholic Raiders here in the top of the 5th inning. Do not allow any runs to score, as that's a fly ball to left field by Steve Hager. So we played 4.5, and your score remains Central Catholic 9 and Drake at 1. We head into the bottom of the 5th inning, due up for the Drake and Middies. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Brad Keefe, Adam Berger, Kyle Cox, are due up. Brad Keefe will lead things off. He's 0 for 1 in the day, struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. On the mound for the Central Catholic Raiders is Nate Carpenter, as a swing and a miss that time by Brad Keefe. Puts the count 0-1. Central Catholic is up 9-1. They scored 2 in the first, 5 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. There's a ground ball hit foul to the left side. Nice attempt by head coach Steve Talbot, who just teams on offense. Didn't quite come up with that play cleanly.
Go, Brad.
So the count 0-2 to Brad Keefe. Carpenter sets the pitch. Up high for a ball. Part of the problem is when you have sort of a lopsided game, as we have at the moment, 9-1 Central, typically the coaches may try a few things, you know, try lots of different substitutions and positions and whatnot, so it just makes it super fun for me. That was a ball, so that evens the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As a good look at Carpenter, the Central pitcher. Here comes the 2-2. Down low. So that'll put the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brad Keefe. Here's the set and the 3-2. Popped up very high. Looks like it may be playable. It's heading toward out of play, but it stays in play and taken nicely in foul territory by Mike Borelli, the central catcher. So a very high pop-up. F2, and that'll bring up with 1 down Adam Berger. Adam Berger, 0 for 1 in the day, lined out to the center fielder back in the 3rd inning. First pitch is a ball. Carpenter sets the 0-1. Just a bit low for ball 2. See the shadows creeping in toward the first base line, the press box shadow. Here's the 2-0. And that'll be ball 3. So the count 3 balls, no strikes to Adam Berger. His call strike. 3-1. Ground ball hit toward the shortstop. He takes it on a big hop. Fires over to first for the out. So that retires the first 2 Drake hitters, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Kyle Cox. Cox, 0 for 1 in the day, grounded out to 3rd base back in the 3rd inning. Ground ball, getting to the shortstop. Takes a little time, and a close play at first base, and he's banged out. Again, 6-3 on the play, so the Middies are retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning, and your score remains Central Catholic 9 and Drake 1. We are set now for action top of the 6th inning. Leading off for the Central Catholic Red Rays, we'll get some changes. Number 3, Hector Roman, who's a junior. Ground ball to the right side and through for a base hit. So leadoff single by Roman here on the top of the 6th inning. And looks like, oh, I thought maybe there'd be a pinch runner, but it's actually just somebody coming up to do the coaching duties. Quick throw over, Roman's back. At the plate now, Mike Borelli. Borelli is 2 for 3 on the day. Fly to right field in the 1st. Singled, stole a the 4th. This changeup pitch is just a bit high from Devin Lambert.
Come on, Mike.
Brad Keefe, the Drake at first baseman, holding Roman at first base. Lambert takes a peek. The 1-0. Down low for ball 2. I don't think we're going to see Nate Carpenter come out for the bottom of the 6th. The sort of the whole dugout emptied out to congratulate him when he came in, so that leads me to believe that he may be done, but we'll see. That was a called strike, so 2 balls and 1 strike now is the count to Mike Borelli. Pitch popped foul to the right side, so that evens the count at 2-2. Temperature's starting to drop a little bit. It's I don't think it's quite as warm as it was. Then again, I'm sitting in the box with no sun, so it feels a little cold. Try again. Here's the 2-2. Outside, and that'll put the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our crew today, our director is Mike Dobbs. Handling graphics and replay is Nathan Vizina. Michael Poitras is up on top of the press box, and Tyler Massey on camera as well. So Poitras and Massey are camera ops. And Gabriella Muse helped out a little bit during setup. Thank you. There's a ground ball to the right side, and it gets by Kyle Hould. I'll have to see the replay on that. I thought the throw was okay, but it was a ground ball to the right side to Joe Donnelly. He went for the force out at second. So there's the throw over to short. Yeah, I think that throw was good. I didn't look that wide to me. So I'm going to charge an E unofficially to the shortstop. So reaching on the error was Mike Borelli, and that puts runners at first and second with nobody out, and the batter, Sean Thompson. And nope, scratch that. I had a feeling that we had somebody else. Ian Ferris is now in the game. Ian Ferris, senior. There's a call strike. Puts the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Believe we have I think we're going to see a lot of substitutions. I think we got another insert coming up on deck. So Ian Ferris, your batter with nobody out, runners at first and second. There's a ball. So 3 balls and 1 strike now the count to Ian Ferris as the Central Catholic Raiders are threatening. They're up 9-1 here in the top of the 6th inning. Devin Lambert on the mound for the Middies. The 3-1. That puts the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lambert does not want to walk and load the bases up. Pitch. There's a fly ball to the right side, heading foul. It's out of play. Lambert sets. There's the 3-2. Ground ball to the right side. Second baseman's got it. Goes to second for 1. Back to first. And it gets by the first baseman. This is going to allow 1 run to score. So Hector Roman comes in to score as Ian Ferris reaches on the fielder's choice. And the fielder's choice goes 4-6. With an error on the throw. We got another pinch hitter in now. In for the Red Raiders is number 8, Ronnie Ascencio. He's a senior. So you got one out, a run in, 10-1 Central Catholic now here in the top of the 6th. Runner at second base and Ronnie swing and a miss for strike 1. A lot of seniors on this Central team. 12 seniors in total, kind of like Drake-it last year. Drake-it was loaded up with seniors. So the count is 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out, top of the 6th inning. Devin Lambert on the mound for the Middies. That ball sort of floats up high and inside a bit for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike now is the count. The 2-1 in the dirt. Nice job, though, by the Drake catcher Kyle Cox, keeping that in front of him. 3 balls, 1 strike is the count. 1 run in already in this inning. Pitch, swing and a miss. So the count now full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Central Catholic came into this game 5 wins, 1 loss. Drake came in 3-2. Central, of course, out of the Merrimack Valley Conference Division 1. Drake out of Merrimack Valley Division 2, chopped foul to the left side. This game coming to you from the Ryan Sayer Memorial Baseball Field at Drake High School. Ground ball, look out. Hit foul right toward the Drake-it bench. Count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes, so Ronnie Ascencio is hanging tough. Devin Lambert on the mound for the Middies. Here comes the 3-2. Ground ball, hit sharply to the shortstop. Fires across to first for the out. Runner advances to third. Nice play by Kyle Hould. So that'll, with a runner on third base, 2 outs, that brings up another new player, Jonathan Montneal. 2. Montneal batting from the left side. First pitch taken for call, strike 1. Ian Ferris, the runner at third base with 2 down. Devin Lambert with the 0-1, he hits him. So that ball inside just got away from Lambert, and drawing the walk is Jonathan Montneal. Out to take have a little chat with his pitcher is head coach Steve Talbot. Wholesale changes as coming to the plate now for the Red Raiders. The top of the lineup is Noah Jankowski, new hitter, excuse me. Jankowski's a junior. And we have a new Drake-it pitcher. In to pitch for the Middies is Michael Pilato, who's a senior. This is the 5th pitcher for Drake-it today.
Hey, Noah, let's go.
So Noah Jankowski, with his first plate appearance in this game, looks to add to the Central lead. Time is called for a moment, as looking for time was Kyle Cox. Just wanted to make sure his defense was straight on a couple of things. Michael Pilato to face his first batter. The pitch. Catches the knees for strike one. Call strike two. So quickly, Michael Pilato in relief of Devin Lambert is up 0-2 in the count. Here's the 0-2. Just outside for a ball. In the dirt. Nice job by the catcher, Kyle Cox. So the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes to Noah Jankowski. Michael Pilato for the middies sets the 2-2. Very close, but call ball. So the count now will be full 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jankowski. Runner goes and swing and a miss for strike 3. So the Central Catholic Raiders do manage to score 1 run. And after 5.5 complete innings of play, it is Central Catholic 10 and Drake at 1. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Due up for the middies, Joe Donnelly, Ryan Talbot, Kyle Hould. New pitcher on the mound in relief of Nate Carpenter is Keith Ferris. So Nate Carpenter pitching 5 innings. That pitch is low and away. Donnelly singled and stole a base in the first inning, got as far as third base, and flew out to the shortstop, looking for his first hit. Chopped to the right side, but foul. So the book on Nate Carpenter, 5 complete innings, gave up 1 run, but it was not earned. 1 hit. So nice job against the middies. That pitch is a ball. Let's see, struck out 5. Actually, that one and only hit, according to my record, came right off of Joe Donnelly back in the first inning. So a 1 run, 1 hit. There's a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Very hard hit ball, and he's got time to recover and make that play. Don't know if that caught part of him or not, but a nice job by Keith Ferris to stop that ball. That was very hard hit. That was headed for center field if he hadn't stopped it. So 1-3. And with 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Ryan Talbot. Talbot struck out swinging in the first, reached on an error in the 4th. First pitch is a call strike. That pitch is low. On deck for the middies is Kyle Hould. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch to Talbot misses for a ball. So 2 balls and a strike now the count to Ryan. Two one. Fly ball, not hit very deep. Center fielder, second baseman, right fielder all converging, and it's going to be taken in by the right fielder for the out. So a high fly ball to right field. So 2 down now here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Kyle Hould. Incidentally, I mentioned this early in the game, but Kyle Hould came into this game as the leading hitter for the Drake and Middies. Came in with 8 hits. He and Joe Donnelly, the big hitters, they came in, Houle with 8 hits, Donnelly with 7 hits coming into this game. In this game, Houle lined out to the first baseman and reached on a fielder's choice, ended up coming in to score the only Drake at run. Keith Ferris on the mound in relief of Nate Carpenter. Fly ball to the right side, looks playable. In foul territory, the first baseman for the Central Catholic Raiders, Aiden Abernathy, takes in, and the Middies are retired 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. After 6 complete, your score remains Central Catholic 10 and Drake at 1. We get set now for top of the 7th inning with Central holding a commanding 10-1 lead over the Drake and Middies. Due up was Dante Pistone, but not sure if, and he is, because there's been a lot of changes on the Central side for obvious reasons. With a comfortable lead, they can give more playing time to some folks, but it is Dante Pistone. As a fly ball to right field. Right fielder is out there for Drake, and he takes it in for the quick out. Prior to that, Pistone fly to center in the first, singled and scored in the 3rd, and grounded out in the 5th. Two balls, no strikes, the count. Fly ball to the right side, second baseman. Under it on a very high fly ball. He takes it in for the out. And I have to apologize because that was number 25 for the Central Catholic Rays. We don't have him on our roster. May have been maybe a JV player getting some time. That'll bring up number 20 now, Aiden Abernathy, who had gone in defensively last inning. So 2 down. Call strike. On the mound still for the Middies is Michael Pilato. Michael's had pretty good control. Just misses inside. So 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th inning as the Middies trailing in this one 10-1 against Central Catholic. Down low and inside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike, the count. The shadows continue to creep in. Swing and a miss, big swing. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The shadow, that image on the right side of the shadow at the top, that's our Mike Poitras, who's up on camera above me in the press box. We were talking off camera between innings, and he was complaining of feeling too hot up there, sweating a little bit, and temperatures dropped a little bit, and the wind has picked up, and now he's not so hot up there. Drawing the walk for the Central Catholic Raiders is Aiden Abernathy. That'll bring up Hector Roman. First pitch taken for a strike. Roman singled and scored his first time up. He came in to play in the 6th inning for Central Catholic. Another call strike. So quickly, nothing into the count to Roman, as Michael Pilato has thrown a lot of strikes. Pilato sets the 0-2. Change-up pitch is fouled off to the left side and out of play. Quick throw to first. Abernathy dives back in, being held on by Brad Keefe. Fly ball, not too deep. Shortstop Kyle Hula is out, called off by the left fielder, and I believe for the first time in this, nope, second time. I didn't know if we had, Central had been retired 1-2-3, but it is the second time. But they do go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 7th inning. And after 6.5 innings of play, the score is Central Catholic 10 and Drake at 1. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Ryan Sayer Field at Drake High School. Leading off for the Dragon Middies is number 1, Patrick O'Toole. Patrick is a sophomore at Drake High School. Still on the mound for the Raiders is Keith Ferris. There's a ground ball headed up the middle and through for a base hit, so Patrick O'Toole waits no time. He jumps right on the first pitch. His first at bat in this game in singles. That'll bring up Michael Pilato, who came in relief of Devin Lambert to pitch. So Middies trying to get a little something going here. Last chance for the Middies here in the bottom of the 7th. Foul back. On deck for Drake, it is senior Jared Brule. Pitch is high for a ball. So that evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike to Michael Pilato. O'Toole takes his lead from first base, held on by Aiden Abernathy of the Raiders. Pitch, line drive, center field base hit. So the Middies making a little bit of noise here in the bottom of the 7th inning as back-to-back singles making noise. So nobody out, runners are first and second. That'll bring up Jared Brule. Jared's a senior. Pitch is a called strike across the knees on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. We'll have another pinch hitter. John Cormier will be next. He's on deck. Set by Ferris. Pitches up high for a ball, 1-1. Central Catholic commanding 10-1 lead here in this one, bottom of the 7th. So last call for the Drake Middies. The 2-1. Foul ball to the right side. That'll even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Jared Brule. Ferris looks in, gets his sign. He sets the 2-2. Change-up pitch is fouled back. Good job of Jared getting the bat on the ball that time. Here's the 2-2. Up high for ball 3. So that'll put the count full 3-2. With runners at first and second, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. Drake is trying to make things a little interesting. Not going down quietly. Central Catholic looking to improve to 6-1 on the season. Here's the payoff pitch. Up high inside, and it is ball 4. So the bases are loaded with middies. And with nobody out, bases loaded, that'll bring up number 9, John Cormier, as one of the Central coaches is out to chat with his pitcher. I think they're going to make a change. Maybe not. I thought maybe it'd signal. It seems odd that they would worry unless something was bothering the pitcher. But he's got the whole infield in for a discussion. Not quite sure the necessity for that, as it is a 10-1 lead right now. So Ferris will remain on the mound as he faces Drake at batter John Cormier. Drake gets Alex Augusta. Alex Augusta is on deck. He would be next. So first pitch is a ball. So Steve Talbot using the opportunity to just, again, give some other players a little bit of playing time. With John Cormier at the plate. Bases loaded, nobody out. Drake it down 10-1. Foul ball. So the count's 1 ball, 1 strike to Cormier. Ferris sets from the stretch. The 1-1 down low and inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. There's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Pitch was up high and away a little bit. Tough pitch for him to reach, catch up with. Here's the 2-2. Just outside a little bit, and that puts the count 3 balls, 2 strikes, and nowhere to put the runners. They haven't changed the score. There it is. The scoreboard's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the middies with a big threat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. So Cormier down on strikes. And with 1 down, bases loaded, that'll bring up number 26, Alex Augusta. Patrick Crowley of the middies is on deck. First pitch in there for a call strike. So Drake is trying to make it a little interesting here. See if they could cut into this large lead of Central's. Ferris sets the 0-1. Ground ball to the right side and through for a base hit. That'll score 1 run. And the Draco Middies score their second run. They cut the lead to 8, 10-2 Central. Single by Alex Augusta, RBI. So with one down and the bases loaded, that brings up the top of the lineup. Patrick Crowley in to hit. Crowley's a sophomore. Foul back. Joe Donnelly on deck for the Middies. Looks like Crowley could actually be in the number 9. I may have my score sheet is, with all the changes, it's quite a mess and hard to follow right now. So it looks like Patrick Crowley's in the number 9 position, as Donnelly would be up in the number 1 position. Keith Ferris on the mound for Central Catholic. There's a fly ball to right center field. Center fielder, long run, he's got it. Nice play. This will be good for a sacrifice as the runner tags up. In to score from third base is Michael Pilato. So the Middies score their second run of the inning, making it now 10-3 Central Catholic on the sac fly by Patrick Crowley. Nice job by the center fielder, though. He had a long way to run to catch that. It was heading for the gap. So with 2 down now, it is last call for the Middies. They're down to their last out, Joe Donnelly. Donnelly singled, stole a base in the first inning, flied out to the shortstop in the third, and grounded out to the pitcher 1-3 in the 6th. Again, Donnelly came in as one of the 2 top hitters for the Middies, coming into the game with 7 hits. So that's 8 hits in the season for Donnelly. That's inside for a ball. Ferris sets the 1-0. Call strike for 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Ground ball, hit softly to the right side. First baseman's guy's going to take it on his own, unassisted, and that's going to do it. So the Central Catholic Red Raiders defeat the Draco Middies by a score of 10-3. And that will improve Central Catholic's record on the season to 6 wins and 1 loss. Draco will even up their record at 3 wins and 3 losses. The winning pitcher, Nate Carpenter, he pitched a real gem. And the losing pitcher, Mark Murray. So it got a little chilly here toward the end, but nevertheless, it was one of our better days because we've struggled with having spring-like weather so far, if you can even call today spring-like. But that's going to do it. So for the entire DATV Sports team, I'm Gary Muse, reminding you for one final time. Today's final score in Merrimack Valley Conference baseball action was the Central Catholic Raiders 10, the Draco Middies 3. We'll see you next time.